Hello. How's it going, Vega? Hello. Welcome. Uh, oh man, I think there's a slight. I hear myself talking. Oh yeah, I do. Whoops. Yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah. Wow. Welcome, viewers. Welcome, live viewers. I finally see Vega. You guys don't see what I look like yet, but they'll be coming soon. But yeah, I'm actually a black mage from Final Fantasy. Uh, Hopefully there's no copyright infringement that we get tagged on. But yeah, guys. Yeah, please. All right. Um, here we are back at it again with another episode of Everything LCS. Quick shout out to the live viewers right now, and quick shout out for Vega for honestly doing a lot of the work and setting this all up because I am not equipped to do this stuff right now. So no, heck yeah, and it's all coming together. It's really awesome, and I'm glad. Oh, Vega, they say the chest says you're muted a bit. Oh, okay. Are we are we good, chat? Once we get the okay, we'll start.
Chat, am I good now?
Oh,
Chat, talk to me.
uh,
Chat, please. Okay, there we go. Hey,
all right, chat. How do I sound? Do I sound clear? Do I need to talk louder?
are we good? Because I'm gonna lock these settings so everything sounds good.
Okay. All right, nice. Chat says we're good to go. And okay, so let's get the start. So everyone, welcome to another episode of Everything LCS. We got a nice one coming to you with our preseason predictions. We got Summer Split coming up, and it's going to be awesome. And we're all super excited to finally get back some pro League of Legends. Even though it is NA, it's still some pro League of Legends, and we're excited for it. Um, but before we get started, let's say so. Everyone knows Uzi has retired, has formally retired, has been talk about it for a few weeks now, and it was finally announced like what, yesterday? It was yesterday,
I
right?
think yesterday it came out, yeah.
Okay, and it was announced yesterday. That really sucks. I hate to actually hear that. Uzi was one of the um, players that I started to watch a lot when I first started watching LCS and started seeing the pro scene myself. So, and this guy was a terror. He was actually ridiculously like mechanically gifted, and was just a really amazing player to see.
Yeah, I
What do
mean,
you guys?
honestly, if not for Faker, we would probably talk about Uzi being the best player ever. Because literally, he went to back finals with different teams and lost to Faker. And you just imagine, like, wow, if Faker wasn't around, Uzi's probably the next closest, great player like that who had that much success.
Yeah, that's true. At least before he retired, he at least won one MSI, one type of international tournament. And but it does really suck, having a player that good and that high caliber not being able to play anymore due to his health problems and health concerns. It's a price that we gamers have of playing this damn game so much.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, that's one thing to keep in mind. Everyone else, you need to keep up your health, but it really sucks to see such a great uh, asset to the community. I mean, multiple players looked up to him. Reckless sent out a video. Double lift, well, in previous years, saying how he admires Uzi for just being able to take control in Smash Lane, and Perks Umayan also sent out a goodbye video to Uzi. So it shows how great of this player is, since so many high profile individuals really took the time out of their day to speak out and give him his send off. But
Yeah.
yeah,
From everything
um,
LCS, all the love to Uzi. I wish you the best, in whatever you decide to do next outside of League of Legends.
Yes, and if you hear this and watch our podcast, please give us a shout out. That'd be great.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
But all right. But moving on off of the depressing topic of great players retiring, now we're moving into what also matters, not what really matters. Retiring does matter. But here we are. We're gonna move into our power rankings here for the LCS summer split. Not much has changed, honestly. Well, I'm not saying predictions, but teams in general, especially the teams that we'll be talking about today. Not much has changed on rosters, except for maybe one that people could take a guess on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll just jump right into it. We have our number one picks. Do you want to start this off, Vega?
Yeah, I'll reveal both of our number ones here. I think we're probably going to have the same thing. And yeah, there you have it. We both have picked Cloud9 as our teams. I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. Cloud9 was completely dominant in spring. There wasn't really a team close to them, and they didn't make any roster changes. Some other teams made roster changes that made them a little bit better, but I still don't think anybody approaches Cloud9 right now. There's no reason to think that they would fall off. So yeah, this one was pretty open and shut for me. Sorry for the boring first pick, but Cloud9 is, in my opinion, still by far the best team. Until somebody beats them, they're the best team.
Yeah, I'll say same thing. And plus, we already have proof how great C9 is. They clapped TSM actually in the show match on the streamathon. I know that shouldn't really matter. That really shouldn't matter that much because it was off roll, but C9 was still able to absolutely destroy TSM. Even with Sven going top, now on Vladimir too. Now we know Sven's Vladimir is also better than Doublelift's, and who knows, maybe he'll end up bringing it out in the summer split. Vlad bot hasn't really been seen as much anymore.
Let's hope
but
not.
We do know. Yeah, Vlad bot has not been seen as much anymore, but we do know that it could possibly be a thing, especially if Sven just decides to troll a bit. TSM will smurf soon.
Yes, just like last split.
They will. What was Acadian's?
I can't remember the full coffee pasta, but it's like all these nerds thinking that we're not good. Something, I don't know, but they were good that split. They actually were good that split. But Cloud9 by far best team, I think, right now. There's no reason to think they won't be the number one seed again. And I mean, as we get into the other teams, we'll see who possibly could challenge them. But right now, I think there's a pretty big gap between Cloud9 and everybody else.
It's a very clear number one, and Sven and Vulcan are both like top 4 in the ladder. So I mean, these guys, I just think they're going to keep up the domination.
Yeah, they've taken like no time off. It almost seems like they have been, everything they've been streaming. You've seen them doing a bunch of content. They're playing a bunch, and word is they were scrimming early too. Because I mean, they're all trapped in the house together, so it's not like there's a ton for these teams to do but scrim and practice.
Yeah, and and just hearing from like past interviews he's done recently before, I don't know, maybe like a week ago, it's just the camaraderie between the team is really what makes it strong and good for Sven. So, I mean, who knows? We'll probably even see him next year on C9. But we can move on to our number 2.
Do you want to do your number 2 first, since I think this is where we start to diverge?
All right, yeah. I believe my number 2 was... Let's see. What did I say?
I got you.
My number 2 was actually FlyQuest.
Interesting.
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 Do you not have faith in the Fly? Do you not think?
I just want to harken back to a previous time where FlyQuest was really good in spring. We got really hyped up about them, and then summer came.
Okay. All right.
You explain your reasoning, because I don't completely disagree with you. I don't think that's going to happen, but.
Okay, your take on that is interesting, because I mean that did happen, but remember that was when Saint Vicious coached in the spring.
Okay.
And then he said depression wasn't like real, and then they kicked him from the roster. And then that summer is when they went down on the downward spiral. So
The
I mean,
history
there
of
hasn't been any.
FlyQuest.
Yeah, that's true.
Depression isn't real. Steep downturn of play immediately afterwards.
Yeah, and but there hasn't been any type of roster changes. I mean, I guess you count Solo, but he played in playoffs, and so as far as we know, no real roster changes have they went through.
Depression did right. Well, they let Viper go, so
Yeah, they let Viper go, but that just shows that Solo's going to be starting. It's cool that they're keeping Revenge in their academy team. Each time I've seen him play, I haven't been that impressed, but I guess still kind of green in the pro play side. But yeah, FlyQuest hasn't really made any changes. Ignore and Power of Evil are just are honestly the best. Well, okay, not best mid support in the whole league, but they may be the best at with their communication and working together, and that's something that will really show, and their whole cohesion, I feel, from the spring will carry on to the next split. Unless they have some crazy mental boom with Solo, I don't think that's going to happen because Solo, I hear he's a really good teammate, and being on a good team, something like that won't happen, like a certain TSM jungler, like in the spring. But yeah, that's my thing. FlyQuest, they were a strong team. They are ones that really carried on their whole play style. They had a little decline in the middle of the spring split, but then they figured it out, got back together, and they're like C9 light, but like a third tier.
Yeah,
Because they don't play as aggressively. So they're not even C9 light. They're C9 like negative light.
Assistant
or
Academy.
C9.
C9.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because it's kind of like a misnomer because people remember FlyQuest in spring as like getting bopped in like the first round of playoffs and having to play through losers bracket, but they didn't play Solo every game in that. Like the games where they had Solo, they were tremendously better. Now you're gonna have a whole off season to play with him, and you're gonna come into summer with the roster that was top 4 in spring. So yeah, I mean, plenty of reason to be hyped about him. Plus, Power of Evil is a stud in mid lane. So I don't see the fall off they had then. Like that split where they fell off, like Pobelter was like running it down in mid lane. So I don't think we're gonna see that happen.
He was running it down to make plays. He said it himself. Okay, you can't blame my boy.
Gotta make plays,
Slow bleeding.
Sometimes we gotta die to get some kill.
I say it to my friends when we play Clash or solo queue or flex, I'm like, you gotta play like you're gonna int, but not int at the same time.
But then don't int. Yeah.
Yeah, don't int. You just gotta make pop up. But yeah, and with Solo being part of the team for the whole split, hopefully, they may figure out what else would be useful for the what other playstyles they could go through. Because on playoffs they just used Ornn, Aatrox, Set. And
Yeah.
and I mean, sure, those are like meta during that time, but I know Solo has like other possibilities. But the fact it was playoffs and so short a time, they had to use it. So, yeah.
You ready for my spicy pick?
What's your number 2 so I can flame it?
My number 2 is TSM.
Oh my man, come on!
Wait up, TSM fans, come on, come in the chat. I'm doing this purely off of a historical reason. I know, like how the bot just like deleted like a ton of messages because it was a spam of emotes. But the reasoning is, they have Doublelift, who I expect to be motivated. They have Bjergsen. Their bot lane reunited with Biofrost. Like on paper, this team is super good. Now I know the argument against it. Their jungler is essentially a rookie. I mean, he's been floating around Academy for a little bit, but he's not great. And it's an extremely mid-jungle centric league. But I think in North America, they have enough talent to be at least a top 3 team. Just off of like talent and experience. Like Bjergsen and Doublelift on the same team should be able to do at least that far. Now that's not saying that, they don't Doublelift doesn't get motivated and they don't just blow up like previous iterations of TSM, but I have faith that 2 veterans like that will push this team at least that far. I don't think they're good enough to unseat C9 because I think just in play style, C9 plays the way the best teams in the world play, and TSM historically did not with Doublelift and Bjergsen. And I want to be very clear, there is a big gap between Cloud9 and anybody else on my power list. It's like Cloud9 tier, a tier nobody's in, and then TSM for me.
It's like C9 is Mount Everest, and then everyone below are like the really short mountains.
Yeah. Like,
That's
there's
cool.
some people on the ground, and, TSM's at the top of a hill, but, like, they're not up the mountain with Cloud9. That's how I feel. At least, I mean, there's no reason to say TSM couldn't be that good because, there's obviously talent enough on the team to do that. I think the coaching staff difference is too big, too. Like, TSM has a ton of talent, but they also have personalities that are historically hard to coach.
Yeah.
And not a coaching staff that's gotten a lot of praise recently. So I think TSM, off of pure talent, will be a top 2 team, but it would not surprise me if they were a middling playoff team, like 3rd or 4th. I don't think TSM misses playoffs with this roster at all, but I'm excited for it. I'm hoping that it's a very good team because I would like to see this roster go tit for tat with a great Cloud9.
All right, yeah, that's all pretty fair. They have, like I said, Bjergsen, Double and Bio, who all 3 of them have already had experience together. I mean, I guess you could also just show my number 3. Because my number 3.
Wow, how are you gonna blame me for number 2 and you've got him number 3?
Because they're honestly, I really feel like they're going to be number 3.
Okay,
I mean, we have not seen Spica jungle yet at all, which is true. I mean, unless you watch Academy, and I mean,
who watches that?
A little bit. I watched it a tiny bit. I've seen him play. A bit. He's shown some good points. We don't know how he's going to really perform in such a, not, I wouldn't say high pressure setting, but in a setting where he is legit the child. He is a child. He has all these older players that he has to basically learn from, like Bjerg, Doublelift, and unless we don't know how he's going to be acclimated with this. In Academy, he had other, say, Academy players, and they all like fed off each other. I don't know, Academy players, communication and everything. I mean, I don't really have much insight on it, but since they're all trying to learn as much as they can, they take a lot of information from each other. In terms of being on an LCS team, Doublelift and Bjerg, for all we know, Bjerg may be like, "Where's my blue buff?" Not saying Bjerg does that. Honestly, he's been a very selfless player lately, as of late. So that's one reason. And I feel, and as I said, we have seen Spica perform. We don't know how he's going to perform against these other, honestly, so far, in my eyes, better junglers, because we have no proof. For Spica, we have Blabber, Santorin, Svenskeren. All 3 of those junglers are really good, and they're not people who are mechanically inept. So it's not like they will be outperformed by Spica in that regard. And I don't know, TSM, like, Bjergsen has shown his carry performances in playoffs just a bit. He dragged TSM across the game versus 100 Thieves.
Yes.
But I don't know, if we don't see Bjergsen have type of pop-off return in the spring, I still have like high doubts for the team. That's why I have him 3rd. It's still top 3.
Right,
but,
yeah.
But it's like top. They can't.
That's a
really
Worlds. That's Worlds right there.
Yeah, that's Worlds. They're definitely a team that can make Worlds because they have Doublelift, such a strong bot side. And not saying the past 2 years TSM has had a weak bot side, but last split they honestly Kabe wasn't performing as well as he should, but that has to do with team environment.
Right, they weren't lane dominant.
From what I can tell. So it's just based on variables, coaching staff, Spica, Broken Blade, and actually Broken Blade, not too worried. People say he can play weak side. I've seen him solo kill people with Ornn and Poppy. So honestly, he's legit not a worry. But in the jungle to bot area,
It almost
Who knows?
feels like having a rookie jungler might be better for them because somebody coming in without like a preconceived notion of like they need to carry or a play style that where they need to carry, and maybe that's what TSM needs. It's just a jungler they're not beating down that already they can just mold into what they want to play. You know, because historically they've brought in people who were kind of like Svenskeren was kind of famous, Dardoch was kind of famous for a play style, and they ended up changing them, and people were upset because they were like, well, they used to play like this, and you're making them play another way, and maybe it's better just to have a jungler whose playstyle is not famous for a certain way, and you can just say, hey, we want you to play this way. We're not going to try and break your habits. Instead, we're going to, you know, make you play the way we want to play because you don't have a playstyle like that before. Who knows? You can't suppress talent if the talent's not there yet.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, Spica has to have talent because they've
Maybe.
been like hoarding him for the past 2 years. So
Yeah, that's true.
uh,
That's true.
he went from their TSM junior to academy and did the playoffs too. So
True. True.
um,
Maybe
you
he's
know,
amazing. Maybe he is.
maybe he's the next Blabber, but then TSM suppresses him so he can't be. Then he goes to C9 and unleashes his powers.
It's only natural.
It's the natural progression.
This is how things work. Okay, so time for my third place team. I've got Team Liquid.
TL
TL is my third place team.
third place.
Third place TL.
Are you a
Here's my
doubter?
reasoning. You think about the people that you have in your fourth and fifth slots, okay? In your head, just think about who that is. You think about who's on those rosters, and you think, do they have as much experience and pedigree as Team Liquid has? And you take out the one part of Team Liquid that they only played to bot side normally, and they take out that portion of their gameplay, a portion that was pulling them down, that was not practicing the way they wanted, and they input a hungry, young, mechanically good AD carry on a team with a solid top laner, a world's jungler, a mid laner who did not get enough credit last split for how well he played, and an MVP support. And if that team's had the whole offseason to click, they've even had games before with this AD carry. They have a new revamped coaching staff, and they're a team that won 4 splits in a row, and they just had one bad split where everybody, you know, we talk about them being ninth, but they were 2 games out of being in playoffs, you know?
Yeah.
So to me, I think there's enough there to say this team could easily be a top 3 team. I mean, if tactical is even decent, this team could win. And
Tactical. Oh wait, go ahead.
I think that Double If leaving will end up making TL stronger because they have an all-star mid laner. They have an all-star jungler. Spent the whole offseason, you know, playing together, building up this mid-jungle synergy that we didn't get to see because they're a team that plays completely around bot side when Double If is on it. So now we get to go into summer with a team that's had an offseason with an unselfish AD carry. They get to play around their all-star mid laner. They have a support who's now freed up to do more because he doesn't have to sit with their all-star AD carry. And a coaching staff that's smart enough to utilize that. After saying this, should TL have been second? No, I'm not willing to make him jump from ninth to second. But
Not from that to second.
but yeah, I think that, I mean, like, of course they could just boom and we could find out that Double If was the reason that they were great anyways, but I just don't see it. And when I compare them to the other teams I had that I was kind of jockeying for this third place position, I'm like, I just don't trust them to make success like that in summer. Like, I trust TL's players to turn it on when it matters, you know?
Okay, yeah, and I feel in terms of tactical, if he could show, you know, he had those 2 games where he just like popped off. We're like, oh, whoa, this guy's amazing. If we could get that if we could not make that a glimpse and make that full split, yeah, I agree. Couldn't make easy third. Probably, honestly, easy second. You know, they have Jensen, Broxa, and Jet's the coach now. Jet has watched legit all of these players perform and knows, or should know, or have an idea of what all their styles are or what their strengths are, and feel that would be like greatly utilized.
Yeah.
In terms, so you know, I guess your third place isn't that.
I mean, we're betting a lot on the potential of this team because their ceiling is so high. I mean, sure, they could scrub out because it's not like there's a lot of bad teams, because like EG, FlyQuest, even some of the other teams that were close, like 100 Thieves, Immortals, like those teams, if TL doesn't play soundly, those teams can beat them. Like those teams also have like high ceiling. So there's like a potential that TL doesn't do that well. I just trust their staff and who they have there to not make the same mistakes they made in spring.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, yeah, they'll have a style. I remember one thing I heard Jat mention was how no one in LCS besides C9 had a type of style or strategy, which we talked about in the previous episodes. I was saying how no one in LCS has a set style, how they want to play besides C9, and if Jack could figure out a style that they can play that works for them, then so
yeah. You ready for your fourth team?
Yeah, fourth place, everyone. Let's go.
Let's go.
What was my fourth place team?
Evil Geniuses.
Oh yeah, Evil Geniuses. All right. So, EG, these guys showed a lot, honestly, last split, and they showed a lot of growth and a lot of, well, I guess not versatility.
That's it.
There's not.
Just growth.
Would it be versatility? Yeah, they just showed growth. They showed a lot of growth. They showed they figured out how they want to play for the most part. Jizuke, high variance, centerpiece of the map that can carry, and then Bang, the reliable AD carry who never died, was what was he? Was he like third or second best AD carry last split? Right?
Yeah, I think second best.
Yeah, second best AD carry, and that's been scary. Ex MVP. Well, you can't say ex, but was an MVP.
Yeah.
Jungler. The previous. These guys, they lost what they were trying to do. I especially saw that in Fly Game. They looked out of sorts, but as long as they could figure out how exactly they want to go about the summer split, they have Huni now. Unless there's visa issues with Bang, I don't think we're going to see Huni.
I think they publicly said now, one of their coaches tweeted or something that their top laner is that Huni is going to be purely like almost a positional coach for him. It's all about development for him.
Okay, so he'll be all right. Cool.
Which is cool.
Huni will be So Huni and Kuma will be possibly doing 1v1s like a lot. And that will help Huni in terms of his laning and not Huni, and that will help Kumo in terms of his laning and what exactly he was lacking. His team fighting was serviceable.
Yeah, really, I mean, it was purely just giving up solo kills and pressure. Like, yes. And Huni's one of the most aggressive players out there. So if you're gonna have somebody in practice to like limit test you, that's a great pickup for them.
And so Kumo, for all we know, he may already be a top 3 top laner after running through some strange gauntlet with Huni during this off season. And their bot lanes, Sazel, Bang, have more time to really sort things out and work together. So I have high hopes for these guys. Could they make third? Sure, they could definitely make third.
Yeah.
But that's where I see them. Unless, as I said, as I say about many teams, unless they just mental boom and they go down like 7th, but they still make playoffs because it's summer. That's fine too. So
yeah, I think it's 8 teams in playoffs in summer. I don't see a way EG doesn't make playoffs unless my boys CLG make it.
Oh jeez, CLG.
Speaking of CLG,
no, they're not your 4th.
I picked Evil Geniuses for 4th also.
Okay. I was like, this guy's trolling.
Speaking of CLG, they are not on this list. I pretty much the same reasons you said. I think they had a clear issue in spring, which was Kumo. I am unsubscribing if CLG is full.
Please don't do that.
Please don't. I promise you. I didn't. Pretty much like the same issues I had in spring, which was Kumo was the issue. Like Jizuke at the beginning of the split had issues with consistency, but it looked like towards the end of the split they were doing a lot better playing as a team. And historically, Svenskeren has been way better in the summer than he is in the spring. And I think Bang and Zazel were, I won't say underrated because Bang was second team, AD carry, for the LCS. He had an outstanding split. And I think Zazel's good. He's a serviceable support. He's an LCS level support. And bringing in Huni to help Kumo practice and be a more serviceable top laner is so important because NA is actually extremely strong in top lane between like Licorice, Someday, and Broken Blade, and other people, Impact. There's a ton of good top laners in North America. So if you're a bottom of the barrel top laner, you're going to find a lot of teams abusing that. So bringing him in is like a really good idea, I think. And I think that pans out good for him. It makes sense now that we know that Huni's not going to start because we were kind of wondering, like, well, you don't want to take Bang or Jizuke out because they're probably your two best players from last split. So now it makes more sense, and I'm excited about them. I think fourth place would not be bad for them. They could punch up, obviously. Like, if TSM or TL slip, EG as a team with just as much talent and potential, I think, on their team because the ceiling of, like, Svenskeren, Jizuke, and Bang is extremely high. So it would not surprise me for them to punch into that top three and be a Worlds team. I also think their coaching staff is pretty good. They did a good job drafting later in the split to get them in position to like cover some of the faults, like some of the Malzahar picks, stuff like that, to make it where Jizuke really couldn't go to ham all the time. So yeah, I'm excited for him. I think fourth place is probably right where we expect him to be. Both of us agree on that. Yeah. That's it. That's EJ.
I feel like if this team went to Worlds to represent NA, I'd be perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I mean, feel yeah. They're a roster that will make me happy if they could reach their ceiling.
Yeah, and they've got Worlds pedigree on that team. Like Kumo even has been to Worlds when he was a sub on C9. So
everyone on that team has been to Worlds. What am I saying?
So it wouldn't be surprising to have them. Even Huni as a sub was semifinalist at Worlds. So.
Okay, moving on to the last team for the spot for our rankings.
I knew it. I knew you wouldn't leave them off.
Yeah, for my fifth place team, it was TL. I just couldn't give them something like that high. I mean, I could have given them fourth for the memes, but I honestly feel EG is I wouldn't say better, but I just more hope in EG. In terms of TL, as everything Vega said, they're all these great players. There's no way that they won't make playoffs, but I just have some doubt just because last split there should have been no reason for a team of that caliber to really fall by the wayside that much. It's not like fifth place is bad. It gets you into playoffs in summer, which is great. And in playoffs, these guys may reach a insane high and be a real contender, not a container, to make it to two Worlds and to possibly even win the trophy again. Not saying they could Cloud9, but who knows? Their ceiling may be insane. We may see Broxel do some crazy insect flash kick plays when Lee Sin is being used, but it's just something definitely went wrong, and maybe there's still some doubt in some players' minds, and I haven't really seen like Brox a duo with Jensen. I've seen Brox a duo with Boy more than I've seen him duo with Jensen.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, there's it's really windy outside my house, so it sounds like there's a ghost. I don't know if you can hear that.
What do you think of tactical? In terms of tactical, as I said before, if he could show that the highs that he had when he subbed in for double at the beginning, and really and could keep that consistent. They him and Core JJ have been duo queuing this whole time. And I mean, sure, when I watched Core JJ's stream, they were kind of losing some lanes, but who knows? That doesn't speak for what will happen. I have really high hopes for them. He's a rookie. He has lots to learn, and he's learning from possibly one of the best supports he could possibly.
Yeah, I think like if he doesn't succeed, like it's he's in like the best situation he could possibly be in. They've got an all-star top laner, an all-star mid laner, a great jungler, and probably top 2 support in North America. So the stage is set for him to have a massive amount of success. And I think he's looked good, and everybody who's talked about him has, talked well about him. Even Core has talked well about playing with him. And Core, I believe, probably has a lot of sway in who they pick to play AD carry. So if he thinks he's good, Core, who's played on a world championship team, I have faith in that. Because it's not like TL's hands were tied. They freed up Doublelift's contract money. It's not like they couldn't have gotten whoever they wanted in NA to play for Team Liquid. So if they feel like tactical's the answer, like I have faith in it.
Yeah. All right. So your 5th pick, Vega.
My final team. I got FlyQuest.
Oh my god. How do you have them?
Well, couldn't leave them out. So here's my reasoning, okay? Every other team above them, I believe, has a higher ceiling. And I tried to frame this in, okay, summer's, where people really show up. It's Worlds time, Everybody has to play extremely well, or should, this is when teams should not take off. So I expect players to play closer to their best level. When I look at FlyQuest, they are good, but I don't believe at their peak that Santorin is better than Blabber, Broxa, or Svenskeren. He's better than Spica, sure. I don't believe Wild Turtle is better than any of the AD carries on the other 4.
Oh, yeah, Wild Turtle is actually trash.
And I think Solo is good. He's probably the 4th best top laner. Well, no, someday he's probably not. He's a really good top laner. But I think the only one of those 4 teams he's better than is maybe Kumo. And we saw that, in playoffs, he's better. But outside of that, I don't know where FlyQuest is better than these teams, short of teamwork. So I'm banking on the idea that these other teams will have better teamwork than they will. I could be wrong, and I'd be happy to be wrong, because I think FlyQuest is a super exciting team. But I think their peak level is not as high as some of these other teams' peak level. And that's banking on these teams getting to that level, which probably won't happen. But if I just pure power, if we rank them, who's the best, if all these players are playing their best, I think FlyQuest is probably the 5th best team. Probably. They could beat EG. No. I could see where they would be a 2nd seed, because you go back and watch Spring, when we talk about teams being built with a plan in mind, FlyQuest is probably the only team besides C9 that even closely resembles that. Like, they picked up a support that played well with Wild Turtle and liked to roam and get other lanes ahead. They get PoE because he's like just better Pobelter. And they end up picking up a top laner that can hold his own up there while they play around their mid and bot lane. And I think they are probably the 2nd best run from a GM perspective organization in A besides Cloud9. So if they're 2nd seed in this playoffs, it will not surprise me. But I just think part of this is because of COVID. There hasn't been a lot of roster shuffling on like a lot of these teams. You really just have like TSM and TL swapping, or TL's putting an AD carry they already played with there, and TL gets a new bot, or TSM gets a new bot lane in jungle. But theoretically, they're just straight upgrades. I think a lot of these teams are going to be cohesive, because even Biofrost and Double have played with Bjergsen before, so it's not like it's completely new.
Yeah.
So I don't expect, those teams to have huge issues acclimating. So I think that FlyQuest probably had better teamwork than all these teams in spring, but I think you're going to see more teams catch up to them as we move into summer. And then you'll start to see the individual skills shine, because teams like EG or TL or TSM who have, these all LCS players are now playing better together.
Yeah, and they'll be more put together than previous.
Right. Previously, FlyQuest was just so all in on their plays, and they were such a team. The only team that was better than them was C9. And every now and then EG would beat them because you played Viper 2 games and you just wanted to not win or whatever that plan was.
Do you think if this COVID thing wasn't going on, do you think FlyQuest would have gotten another ADC? Because honestly, I just feel FlyQuest, I when I made them second, I completely forgot how honestly bad Wild Turtle was. He wasn't like the worst ADC in the league, but he just wasn't. He was never.
Who was
a strong
the worst AD
point.
carry in the league if it wasn't him?
Oh wait,
Because he may have been. I mean, you could be a top 10 North American AD carry and be, you're an he's LCS level, I think. But I mean, like, Johnson's better.
Actually, honestly, if
he might be better than Stixay. I don't know, man.
I mean, they both kind of didn't really show. I think he is better than Stixay, but I think Stixay was just confused.
Yeah, honestly, like, if you found out that Stixay had been traded to FlyQuest, I would be like, okay, good move. That's a good move. Get a stable AD carry.
Yeah, So I don't know. I feel if this whole COVID thing was on, FlyQuest may have. I mean, it's kind of I can't really say that because Wild Turtle has kind of been the face of FlyQuest. Not so much anymore. He has been a lot less of.
That would have been my argument. Is like, what's his value outside of just competition? Because I mean, if you get second place with an AD carry that everybody likes and likes to follow, then maybe that's your goal, is to grow your brand. And Wild Turtle's a longtime LCS player. Everybody knows who he is. He's a likable guy. So maybe that's their goal with it. But there's no more Snickers commercials, so I don't know what he's doing.
No more Snickers. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. I just wish. I just said roster shuffles haven't been that easy, other than for Dig. But
holy moly!
What if Fly went for Venus? That would have been something.
Yeah.
But who knows? That's the only thing I would have changed. Fly is the ADC, because he's the only question mark I always have whenever I watch their games.
Yeah, and maybe their thought. Rumor is he's making a ton of money on that team too, and I'm not going to get into salaries and stuff like that. But it feels like there's plenty of Academy AD carries who are pretty good and hungry. But who knows? Maybe behind the scenes, Turtle is a vocal leader and a big part of keeping them positive and playing as a unit they do.
But I feel that's something Power People does.
Yeah, he did on CLG.
Yeah, so.
And Santorin like that too.
Unsure.
Yeah.
Comic Relief.
He's a comic relief guy.
Comic Relief character. Okay.
Yeah, we all need it. Yeah.
All right, I guess that's a sound argument to keep him on FlyQuest.
Yeah, that's good. 5th place for sure. Just kidding. I can't. So we've got 5, 6. Well, there's 8 teams going to be playoffs in summer. So
yeah.
God, man, this it was not that hard making these 5, but man, the next 5, what we're going to do in the next episode, was so hard.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult because it's just not for 6th place, not for me. That. Everyone should know I'm very biased for my 6th place team. Except I don't have a jersey, so that's the only bad part.
That was tough.
Yeah, the rest of the positions is really difficult because it's really thinking what team is honestly going to be the absolute worst and not make playoffs when we have 8 slots in playoff.
Immortals.
We're going to be the bottom 2. Okay, yes, Immortals. Other than Immortals. Okay. All right. Stop ruining next week.
I didn't. Okay. Spoiler. I do not have Immortals as my worst team. It's not.
Okay. All right. Okay, that's fair.
Just wishful thinking.
So it'll be interesting because there will be 8 teams in playoffs. This is where I wish LCS just expanded to 12 teams. Just 2 more teams. 2 more teams.
Yeah.
Would be ideal.
It's just 80% of the league is in playoffs.
Yeah, and it's for worlds too. Imagine Golden Guardians just somehow have this crazy win streak in playoffs and make the worlds.
No.
What the heck?
No. So do we know who he is the support now?
Yes, who he is in fact is.
I think you could go to 12 teams because look at like Diggs'
Is-
Academy team. Yeah, and then
Yeah,
all you have to fill out is one more team.
the academy team. I mean, there's some. I could make a team like right now. If anything, I'd have like. So we have some good tops. ADCs are like okay, but like some good supports. Diamond procs. I mean, I could.
C9's Academy team is
Yeah,
probably at least bottom
team.
4 LCS level team.
Yes, C9's whole academy team could be an LCS team right there, and would probably make playoffs. You probably could go pro, man.
You got to play
But,
more than Lucian to go pro.
You gotta play more than Lucian. But yeah, the whole C9 academy team would be one. You could take bits and pieces like Fake God from 100 Thieves. What's that? I don't know another good. I mean Ole, because I don't feel Ole is a bad support. He's actually good. Like Ole has support. Junglers.
There's a couple floating around.
Yeah, there's like some decent.
You're gonna
junglers
have either
too.
Acadian or
yeah.
Dardoch. You know,
Yeah,
out
like
there.
Acadian. Yeah.
You could
I
build a
mean,
roster that would at least take some games off teams.
Yeah, the one thing that would be a problem is having that like one leader, and coach diff. But yeah, the only problem would be having like the leader for say that 11th team or something. But that depends on the coach, you know.
Yeah.
So who knows? But all right, I think that is all we have today, unless the chat wants us to have a discussion about something random. But yeah, Vega, are you good to go? Is there anything else you want to address before we?
Just thanks everybody for coming out and supporting and everything like that. You know, recently the podcast's been doing amazing, and you know it's kind of something we just did because we just wanted to do it because it was fun, and it's just so cool to see everybody like come out and support it, and like everybody who listens and like stuff like that. Like, thank you a ton, you know. And you see, we're starting to stream it now. We want to do more stuff and things like that. So thank you for the support, you know, and pushing us to like level up the podcast and do better. We're excited about summer. You know, we're happy to be back to League of Legends in 2 weeks. Thank God. Yeah, thank God. Because I'm about to go crazy without League of Legends to watch. And yes, I remember when Taylor threw a grenade at me and killed me in Valorant. My own race. Lobbed a grenade at my feet and killed me. Thank you. Thank you, Taylor.
The podcast. So it's just been super fun, and we've been having a great time. So with that, I guess I'm off unless Vega decides to stream some more. But yeah, thanks guys. Really appreciate it, and see you next week.
Bye, guys.